Transformation in 3, 2, 1.
Hi everybody, welcome in, welcome in. If you're new here, welcome. If you're a returning gazer, hi guys. Reading in the car today. What's up? We found a nice little quiet spot. It's beautiful. It's fall here. So the seasons have changed, the times are changing. I know we're all feeling it. We're all feeling this immersive, right? This immersive experience, experiential. These are the words that are coming into my mind immediately. If you're new here, welcome. If you're a returning gazer, hi guys. I hope you're doing okay. Um, we got the crystal ball. We have the crystal ball out today, and look at how it's shining. Beautiful. We've really been getting in touch with this space, right? And this is it's about like clearing out the clutter, really digging into things that need to go. That's what time it is. It's Virgo time, guys. And they talk about spring cleaning. They talk about fall cleaning too with the equinoxes. You should give your house, give your soul, give your life a real good cleaning energetically and in the mundane, in the real, at least 8 times a year. And I know it sounds like what, but I mean like really like, because then stuff still gets grubby. We carry on these things. So traditionally, it's like in ancient times, but a lot of cultures that are still more in touch with the seasonal changes, there's times of the year where we clean, and it's the equinoxes and the solstices and the cross quarter days in between, and we talk about like energetic cleansing, cleaning things out, getting you sage things if you need to sage yourself. Different kinds of incense work for different kinds of things. Clean them out energetically. You can put salt in the corners and sweep it out to the north, and to thank the spirits for the lessons they've brought you, and send them kindly on their way. This is about being kind. It's about being gentle with yourself and with the things around you, the things that are coming through now, because there are some very tumultuous energies. There's some aggressive energies wanting to kind of butt heads, right? It's like those waves that are interacting with one another and kind of like smashing against each other. And it's about being gentle with yourself through the process, because some of those are internal waves and some of those are in the external. And a lot of the times when they come out in the external, it's because they're happening in the inside. And so if we can be gentle with ourselves, then we can be a little gentler with others, because we know that they're also having this, like butting up of energy, butting up of emotions that's kind of coming through. And I'm definitely seeing some assistance coming through. There's like I'm seeing somebody like lean into to take care of someone or something, and I'm hearing monumental. It's, even if it's a small gesture, right? The impacts of it are huge, right? And they set the foundations. Remember that during the eclipse season, everything is setting into motion things that are going to be happening for the next year, the things that are going to be happening for the next 6 months. So it's really important to set good foundations in those spaces. And if you can offer assistance in kind to someone, 333 Empress energy, some of your abundance, some of your love, some of your compassion, some of your character, right? If you can provide that for someone in a small capacity, it's really going to make a very large and lasting impact in the foundational choices that you are able to make later on. That's definitely coming through here. Yeah, and I'm seeing the Gorgon too, and that was coming up in a few other things. So that you know, feeling of needing to defend because of the treatment that has been, so like if you've been treated shitty, or if somebody's been treated shitty, they can get defensive and become warrior like, right? And it's a justified feeling within them, but it leads to more turmoil and more conflict, right? And so like then the Gorgon is beheaded, right? And even looking at the head of it in the decapitated state still has the same effect of turning people into stone? Does it have the same effect of turning people into stone? What is that? And why was Medusa that way to begin with? This is really, really coming through here because it's part of our standing up for ourselves and it bringing in more conflict. And there's a gentler way to be doing this. Thank you, Spirit. Thank you, Spirit. There is a more impactful, effectual way to be doing it, because it's the conflict that brings those waves that crash, that want to bring about change via destruction. And that's like taking things apart. And are we taking them is it like kablooey, or is it organizing, going through things meticulously, Virgo energy, and looking at where things belong and where things need to be, and dissecting those parts, taking out the parts that don't need to be there anymore. A lot of times in tarot, we talk about endings, we talk about things changing, and people think that it's this gigantic, dramatic thing. Oh, you have to leave your job. No, you don't. But you might have to change the way that you're approaching something. There might be an end of something, an end of a project that you've been working on. It leads to another project. That's the death and rebirth process. Same with relationships, same with our family, same with the way that we handle maybe our health regimens, or the way that we take care of ourselves, right? So it's about these little things that make big impacts, like a small stone makes a huge ripple all the way across the pond. What are those stone ripples that you are creating in your life, and what are creating stone ripples for you? Very interesting, Spirit. Thank you, Spirit. Mm. All right, that might be it for the crystal ball. We're gonna get some tarot. I brought a couple tarot decks and the Soul Whispers. We'll just see what comes out. Ancestors, spirits, guides. What messages do you have for the collective today? What messages do you have for the collective, Spirit? For listening, for your greatest and highest good, what would you like us to know today? Wow, Queen of Wands. And there it is, that restoration of confidence, that attraction, that beauty, and being mindful that those things do bring in feelings of other, like if you're shining out beautifully, someone who isn't feeling as shiny might you're mirroring back to them that negative feeling within themselves. And if somebody is feeling confident, or is feeling like maybe you're feeling like you can't shine your biggest shine because you don't want it to affect, well, you know what, it's going to affect people the way it's going to affect them. You go on and ahead and shine anyway, because there's others like you who need your shine, who need to know that it's okay for them to do it too. And it's attracting others like you. And so there's this idea of strength, right? Beauty, absolute beauty, confidence, taking that leadership role, right? And this is Aries, Leo, Sagittarius energy. This is the feminine version of those. So it's very, you set the stage and they come to watch, right? You have it's the solar plexus chakra. It's that bright vibrantness that, and it is compassionate, it is romantic, and it is very loving, but in an action oriented kind of way, in an inspiration kind of way. There's like putting something on display, and it might be you that's getting put on display, and it might not be because you did anything to go out there and attract that, or get, like, you weren't like a pick me, you weren't like a attention getter. You sit in your glorious beauty, in your confidence, and people are attracted. They come to the stage where you are. And it's a white cat. So generally in the traditional Rider Waite, it's a black cat. Black cats talked about magic. They talked about superstition and things that people were afraid of. Then there goes that feeling of maybe you're a little intimidating. Maybe your confidence is a little intimidating, and you aren't being aggro about it, and you aren't being aggressive about it, but it's a very, very pure, it's coming from a very pure space. You don't need to be a fire sign. You don't need to be a feminine. This is the energy that's coming through. This is what is being called for you in this space, especially with so much water and earth happening right now. Virgo, right? And Virgo wants the energy wants us to, again, organize and be clean, and to purify for our health, right? And for the people around us, so that everybody is taken care of. And then you got that Piscean energy that's very watery and can be very confusing and mystical. I'm hearing mythical, absolutely. And so and the hidden spaces, right? The hidden spaces, going from being meticulous to being a perfectionist. Why are you doing that? Is it where is that fear within you? And so both of those things can become very, very muddy, very distorted, very difficult to see the clarity through. And so the Queen of Wands is here. That energy is here to remind you that you hold that light within yourself. You hold that shine within yourself. And it is a very, very pure space that's coming through. It could be somebody, a fire sign feminine, who's coming to remind you of that, or inspire you to come through that space, that you might be that for someone. Again, like, it doesn't matter. We're reading for archetypes, and we're reading for characters. So you get to choose the character that you are in your story, and how that character is oops, sorry about that. How that character is grown, developed. What their space becomes. I heard what their space becomes. Beautiful. What else, Spirit? What else would you like us to know? Wow. And there's the three of wands in the reverse on the bottom, and it's almost like not waiting, no longer waiting for a ship to come in. And again, like creating that your own space there. You're not waiting for it's interesting. Set the stage and they come to you, right? But you aren't waiting for them. Interesting. You're just happily occupying your space, doing your thing. Maybe your thing is, again, say cooking, and you're just enjoying making the food. You're just enjoying the process, learning about things, learning about doing it. And the food is so yummy that people just keep coming to, but you're not waiting on them. That's not what you're doing. You could be enjoying the process of creating music, of making a song. And people are attracted to the notes and the harmony that you're bringing in, or the words that you're saying. Maybe it's poetry, maybe it's art, maybe it's fashion design, whatever it is, right? Maybe it's a new form of dance. All of these things that are very, like it could be on display, 1212, but it isn't that you are doing it to be put on display, or that you are waiting to attract the audience. It's that you are so enjoying the space that you've created for yourself, the activity that you're doing, the thing that's bringing you the confidence. You're shining out so brightly that those opportunities are showing themselves to you. They're finding you along. There's like a resonance here. And again, not waiting. You're like, it's like you're not waiting on something anymore. You've really like sussed out, and maybe things aren't waiting on you anymore, because they realize that you're just doing your thing. So if you're going to coexist and you're going to co-inhabit, you're individually being that, and that's interesting, interesting. What else? One more, Spirit. Can we have one more? 8 of Pentacles in the reverse, and the Hermit. And again, the taking a break from working so hard. This is not working on something. This is not putting the work in, or not doing the thing. Things aren't being able to be replicated because you're taking the time to look within. Very interesting. It's like nobody can do it like you. You're the only one. And if the things aren't working and those ships aren't coming in, the check is in the mail. No, it's not. And that, and you don't necessarily want to put more work in toward that. There's this Hermit energy, Virgo, major arcana for Virgo, shining that light in. What did you discover? What did you discover that made you want to clear out that space, or that made you decide that maybe it wasn't that the effort wasn't being put in, and so the shipment wasn't coming through? Take that how it resonates. But there's this idea of like learning and teaching yourself something, and re-examining that, and having that time of solitude to really look deep within and say, what did I learn along my path? Interesting. So we'll get some clarifiers. For the clarifiers, we have the Kabbalistic Tarot. A little bit extra with the Tree of Life and the alphabet. And I wish I had brought my book to help us understand some of these better. But we use what we use. We have what we have. Ancestors, spirits, guys, could you please help us, give us clarifiers, clear understanding of what these cards mean? What Spirit would like us to know? What is this Queen of Wands? Who is this Queen of Wands? How is this relevant? What is she doing? What is this about? Nine of Swords. Oof. Yeah, caught up in your head. Too much stress, too much anxiety, too much worries, thinking too much. Just thinking too much. Nines. Nines. So close and almost there, right? This is talking about Mars and Gemini. Being careful with your words. Being careful with your words, especially if they are being sent out with a greater caliber of oomph than maybe they need to, because they're being propelled by overthinking, or like it's like this, like, let a little bit of the pressure off before the lid blows kind of a thing, because that is possible. And she can be very, she can be very cocky, and she could be kind of arrogant sometimes, this energy. Not saying you, but I mean, like, that could be heard that way, especially if people, remember, we go back to that internal space and that external space, and those things crashing into each other, right? Being mindful of that, knowing what is the internal dialogue here, what is the internal worry, what are you so anxious about, and identifying that really does help. If you name it, you can claim it, you can tame it, right? So there's that thought about this. Maybe you're worried about a fire sign feminine. Maybe you're worried about what might be said to you, or if the the check isn't in the mail, or the work isn't getting done, or it isn't something that you would like to participate in, or something of that nature. Whatever it is, maybe there's like some anxiety over that. Maybe, again, that feeling of like, maybe your energy is intimidating because you are confident, because you are working hard, because you know your place, and you know where your lane, and you know where it's leading you to, and you're focused on that, right? And that could be causing anxiety in others around you, because they don't know if they can keep up with you, or where that's going to go. I mean, take it how it resonates. There's definitely a bit of a worry here within for this Queen of Wands energy. It's the Emperor in reverse. Whew, lots of fire. This is coming out with this Three of Wands. It says Aries. Yes, Aries energy, masculine energy. And again, take it how it resonates, because the Emperor is like the archetypical patriarch, right? That big boss energy, the father energy, the who's in charge energy. And when it's in the reverse, it becomes tyrannical, it becomes controlling, it becomes dictatorial. Dictatorial. Say the words, right? But we're not waiting on opportunities coming from people who are trying to control us. Absolutely not. Or people who don't have control over themselves. This person is very temperamental. Not worrying about, I mean, if that is the nature of this beast, we're not waiting on it anymore. We have no expectations for it to come in, and maybe even moving out of a space where it might have been, where it could get to us, right? This is talking about like some kind of powers that aren't taking proper control over themselves, and therefore pushing things on other people. And again, this energy is very irresponsible, right? How it got into its position of power, well, that varies, but somehow it got there, and it's creating blockages so things can't move through. And it's like, there's no wonder this person is anxious, because you don't want that kind of shit to come back on you when you've just done so much to work out, to clear out that space, to create the beauty for yourself, to create that peace of mind. And you're sitting here, and so you know that sitting in your attractive purity is going to attract the bullshit too. The moths and the butterflies, they go to the flame, but they also go to the light bulb. They're trying to find the moon. right? And these artificialities. And I think that that's what you're not waiting on in your longer. It's like Page of Wands. What it does is it brings you back to a space of enthusiasm, but this is also news coming through. Exciting news coming through. Can you tell me about this Eight of Pentacles in the reverse, please? What is the Eight of Pentacles in the reverse? Yep, the Magician in the reverse. And look at that. Sagittarius energy now. So much fire today. So much fire. The Magician in the reverse and the Eight of Pentacles in the reverse. Yeah. That's manipulation tactics and somebody draining the resources so things can't get done. Could have to do with this controlling energy over here. That's so I feel like it's really important to not project things onto people just because they have a sun sign. Because unless you know what their entire chart is, that's a really, iffy situation there. So rather than project people's birthdays onto them when we name archetypes, let's talk about the archetype of, positive or negative for something. This is mercurial energy. It's Aries energy, which we have out here. It's Virgo energy, which we have out here. It's Gemini energy. So it's the two sides of something being, and when it's in the reverse like this, it could be being two-faced, like taking resources and then not producing the thing that's supposed to be produced from it, and manipulating the situation, right? And not wanting to give to something anymore about that because it's difficult. And it feels like it's this tyrannical energy that's it's intimidated by you and your abilities, so it's getting pushy and weird and trying to maybe take away the manifestation power by not letting the thing be replicated because it's not coming through. Temperance, patience. Okay, this is Sagittarius, which is the opposite sign from Gemini. Yeah. So where is that balance? How do we recreate that place? You go back to the middle section. Things that are seemingly unable to be mixed together will be able to be mixed together. And it could be reconciling within yourself how this all works. 2 Virgo energy and Sagittarius energy. And both of these, the Hermit and the Temperance card, talk about healing on the mind level, on the body level, and again, like that fire and water mixing together and letting the pressure off a little bit so that things aren't said. We go back to that, like, what is she saying? What is being said here? And there's definitely like a feminine and masculine component. We're going to get one more card from each of the decks for best advice and outcome for this situation, please. For those listening, for those this is resonating with. Oh, if this is resonating with you, just go ahead and smash that like button. It'll be amazing. Helps the channel, helps me know that we're connecting. Oh, spirit, ancestors, and helps other people get the messages too that they need. Knight of Cups in the reverse. Eight of Cups, yeah. As long as somebody's gaining something off of it emotionally, they're not going to walk away from it or even look at what their possibilities might be because they're trying to fill a cup that's got a hole in the bottom of it. Yep. Stop giving loving action towards things that drain you. All right, ancestors, spirits, guides. The Devil in reverse. It's been coming out all like the last week at least, and they're all different decks. Capricorn in the reverse, letting go of those toxic ties. Look, we got Six of Cups in the reverse and Two of Swords in the reverse. That's the Sun in Scorpio, the Moon in Libra. Blockages removed by letting go of maybe soul contracts, maybe people from your past, maybe things from your past. I mean, there is a lot of like somebody when you were growing up said some really harsh shit to you. Is probably a dude who had some kind of power or control over you and planted some seeds in your mind that made it difficult for you to continue your manifestations because the blockages that they put in your way. And these are bad soul contracts. And maybe you'd spent time building things that were similar to that in your life, and they needed to be taken down, and you needed to learn what that was about so you could really identify where it was. And what it did was it restored your confidence. It brought back that fire within you. It made you compassionate and loving and beautiful and kind, and gave you creative talent, and let you manifest the things that you want to manifest. And yet, whether this is somebody in your real life, in the daily right now, who is behaving the same way that some person in your past taught you was a way people could behave, but now you've learned better and you ain't taking that shit no more. All right? The blockages are being removed and that soul tie is being severed. You aren't giving love to it anymore. And it's creating beautiful, beautiful waves. Beautiful waves in your life. We saw that this is the time is now to be doing that. The balance that is coming on the 20th with the equinox and the second new moon in Virgo, the last new moon of the summer, official summer season before the equinox comes through, and all of these things, when things are being balanced, they become sloshed, because then there's the directional change. And so what happens on our planet, it's what happens in our lives, it's what happens in our bodies. So it's very, very natural. Don't fight the feeling. Go with it. Let the wave wash through and clear out what doesn't belong there, and it will expose things. And that's needed right now. And it's a very personal and individual thing. This is what's happening within each and every one of you, each and every one of us. Ancestors, spirits, guides. What excuses am I making right now? 2 came out. No more waiting. There will never be a good enough time. The time is now. Thank you, Spirit. No more waiting. 3 of Wands in the reverse. If it's important enough to you, you will find a way. Today, make a decision and do it even if you don't feel ready. Listen to your heart and you will be led. The time is now. Last reading, that's what this was that was titled. The time is now. Was this say, am I in my head or my heart? What is the quality of your self-talk? Our brain is like a muscle. If we condition it daily, the fears and limitations will take over. Mastering our thoughts is about being the creator of our own life. Where your head meets your heart is where miracles happen. Today, master your mind. Watch an inspiring video, do some tapping, read an empowering book, or write out all the reasons why you believe in yourself and your dreams. How beautiful is this? Again, focusing on the possibilities, focusing on what is available, focusing on the solutions, on what is right, on what is inspiring you, rewiring your brain to bring confidence to the activities that you do, to squash that out. And if somebody else is behaving poorly because they are doing that and they need to work on themselves, that's between them and spirit. And if you're mirroring them back, that to them, that's what spirit intended for you to do. Stay confident, stay beautiful, stay blessed, because you are. All right. I hope that was helpful. I hope that you got something out of it. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you for remembering to hit like and subscribe. And thanks for coming back and seeing us again next time. Bye.
Transformation in 3, 2, 1.